Hello everyone, it's good to be back. I'm finally back doing videos again, and this is the new location. This is CrossFit Black Forest, as you can see, and we're really happy to get this space. It's really great, it's really huge, and this is where all my videos are going to be from now on, so I hope you enjoy. So today I'm going to show you the basic squat movement as well as variations of the squat to do high bar and low bar. Squat is literally a staple movement for our gym diets, and it works the whole body. It's not just for the legs, the butt, the back. It really focuses on the whole body, and is one of the core movements in powerlifting. What I'm going to show you today is going to be the basic squat movement. So this is for anyone who's not done squats before, anyone who really wants to get into weightlifting in the gym, perhaps girls, you've not sort of done squats before and you're wondering how to do it. That's what I want to show you today, but I'm also going to touch on technical aspects such as depth and foot placement, things like that. And this is also for people that are looking to improve their technique. Perhaps you've been in the gym for quite a while and you're just looking to improve your numbers, and I hope that I can show you how to do that today. As you can see, I've used the bar as a guideline, and I'm going to take my thumbs now and wrap my hands around, and that's the best place to be on the bar. Don't forget that whatever feels comfortable within reason, if you've got slightly longer arms, you want to take your hands a little bit wider, perhaps you want to use these markings here, you can also do that. If you're ready, you can go roughly, you'll try your best to go under the middle of the bar, and you should be able to does it feel level when you do pick it up, and then you are ready to unrack the bar now, and you're going to see that I'm going to squeeze my rhomboids together, and that's the muscles between your shoulder blades. I'm going to squeeze those together, and that's going to give me a good placement for the bar. Yeah. So you can see there. Now that I've shown you how to successfully unrack the bar, now I'm going to demonstrate how to do the squat correctly. With regards to foot placement, you can kind of stand whatever feels comfortable, especially if you're just starting out. The whole idea is to really practice and just experience what feels best for you. So when I squat, I tend to take my feet just slightly wider than shoulder width, as you can see, and I put a slight angle on my feet, so I turn my feet slightly outwards, and this is generally the best thing to do, turn your feet slightly outwards. If you're going to squat with your feet forwards, it's going to be very difficult to actually execute the squat correctly. The next thing I think is best to mention is that it's best to tuck your pelvis slightly under. So actually a lot of girls think that when you do the squat you need to shoot your ass really far back, but that's not actually the best thing to do, and you could get sort of lordosis with that, which is a curvature of the lower spine. So the best thing to do is to actually, what I just did then, I'll show you. So this is how I would normally stand, and I'm going to tuck my pelvis under. So from the front I go, tuck it under, and this is just going to allow you to engage your abs and maintain a straight and strong core throughout the movement. The core is actually a really important part of weightlifting and fitness in general, and if you've got a strong core, then you're going to find all sorts of weightlifting movements a lot easier, and it's going to help you a lot. Depth is often a hot topic in powerlifting, in weightlifting, and whether people have achieved the correct depth. Now, if you're just starting out and you are a beginner, this isn't something to be too worried about. But the best thing to do, and I'll kind of show you from the side, is just to take it to about there. And that is roughly about parallel. And always maintain that your knees track over your toes, and that's very important. You don't want your knees to be caving inwards, and this is going to prevent injuries. So it can be quite difficult for guys especially to actually get down to the proper depth. So I recommend really taking your feet just slightly wider than what I would sort of usually have mine, quite a bit wider than shoulder width. And then that's going to allow you to sink your hips further down and actually get a little bit more out of your flexibility. For girls as well, just feel around, whatever feels comfortable, and go with that. So another thing to mention is the bar path. So this is where the bar will actually travel, and the path it will take as you go down and as you come back up. So it's good to mention that the bar should always travel through to the middle of the foot. And so this is maintaining here, you see. So I go for about the first strike on my Adidas shoe. Maintaining the correct bar path is really important so that the bar and the weight stays in the right place. So you don't want it to come too far forward, otherwise you're going to fall forward. You also don't want it to fall too far backwards, otherwise you're going to feel like you're going to fall backwards. That's why it's really important to maintain the correct bar path. Now that I've talked about all the individual components of the squat, we're going to put it together and I'm going to walk you through it, or squat you through it. So to put it all together, just make sure your hands are in the right place. Go under the middle of the bar and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then, as I've just done now, tuck your pelvis under, and that's going to maintain your straight core. Now we can unwrap. Okay, and now I've got my feet in a position that I'm comfortable with. Okay, so now we're going to break at the hips first. So I'm going to send my hips back, and then I break at the knees. And then I can go down, making sure I'm tracking my knees over my toes, and then I come back the same way I went down. The squat, I just want to also mention that it's really important to keep your weight on your heels and not on your toes. If you do squat on your toes, you're going to find that it's going to put a lot more pressure on your knees, and it's going to bring the weight further forward, which means that you're not going to engage your posterior chain, you're not going to engage your glutes or your back as much as you otherwise would do. Now I've shown you the basic squat movement, I'm going to talk about high bar squats, and these are a typical Olympic style movement in which you place the bar quite a lot higher than you already would do, so you take it really high up onto the shoulders and squat with it there. It also means that we're going to take a much more narrower stance and turn our feet also outwards. We also engage our quads quite a lot because we're going to maintain a vertical posture, so we're not actually going to shoot our arse back or our hips back as much as we would do with a low bar or a standard squat. So we'd squat more like that. Now I'm going to demonstrate a high bar squat. So I'm going to take the bar higher than what you've seen in the previous demonstration. Unwrap. And my feet are actually quite a bit more narrower than I'd like. I don't actually normally do high bar, but so we will break at the knees first, and we won't really shoot our hips back too far. So demonstrate a low bar squat, typically known as a sumo style squat, and this is quite a bit different to my standard squat and a high bar squat, because actually I keep the bar quite high anyway. That's something I feel comfortable with, but this is also a very valid type of squat. By now you should all be very familiar with the checklist, so I'm going to make sure my hands are in the correct position and maintain myself under the middle of the bar. Just see I've taken the bar significantly lower than what it was in the previous two demonstrations, and now I'm going to take my feet quite a lot wider as well. This is kind of feels like a meter, but I don't know if it is. And always remember to track your knees over your toes again and maintain that the weight stays in your heels. So I'm also going to break at the hips first. You need to, as the bar is so far down, you need to actually lean further forward to make sure that the bar stays in the correct path. Time to put some weight on the bar. So just one last thing, always try to maintain the correct form, stance, think about all these things. It's quite hard to remember them all at once, but I think with practice and time it definitely comes. And just remember not to put too much weight on the bar if it is going to compromise your form. Try to get the form first, and then it's going to be plain sailing. I hope you found my video useful and you've definitely taken away some tips and technique training that you're going to use in the gym. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, I don't know where it's going to be. Yeah, I'll see you next time.